tonight. State Governor tells Batch A core members to be objective in their analysis of national events. Judiciary Financial Autonomy Bill passes through second reading at the State House of Assembly. Delta State House of Assembly Service Commission dismisses 26 employees operating fake certificates. And women transporters commend Governor Dwyer for making them beneficiaries of the state urban mass transit scheme. It's nice to have you join us on the news tonight. I am Jill Wilson. The state governor, Dr. Emmanuel Dwyer, has charged the Batch A core members deployed to the state to the district an objective in their analysis of national events to enable them play the mediating and stabilizing roles of bringing about peace and development to the country. Dr. Dwyer gave the charge today at the closing ceremony of the 2014 Batch A orientation course for members of the National Youth Service Corps posted to the Delta State at the NYSC Permanent Orientation Camp Esiluku in Anocha North. Correspondent Chooks Ebwago has details.
The governor, represented by his deputy, Professor Amos Utwama, SAN, appealed to the core members to be cautious in all the activities and undertakings, adding that the service year could be a tempting period for most of them to pursue some adventures which may pose serious dangers to their lives. He implored them to be part of the sustainable development efforts of the Delta State government, as his administration has deliberately embarked on the basic provisions of infrastructure. Dr. Dwyer urged the core members to follow up the training in the various skill acquisition centers located in all the local government areas in Delta State. The governor assured them of comfort and safety in their places of primary assignment and appealed to them to respect the cultural norms and traditions of the people in the areas they are posted to.
Let me also implore you all to be part of the sustainable development efforts of Delta State government. This administration has deliberately embarked upon the basic provision of infrastructure, opening the rural areas, making the state more investment friendly, and creating veritable economic avenues through which our people will be self-employed beyond under our 3-point agenda.
Some of the core members interviewed spoke of their experience in camp. They commended the camp officials for making their welfare and comfort a priority.
Thank God that it has been well since I'm here in
Okay, I want them to take the NYC program seriously. I want them to be hardworking, and by the special grace of God, if they follow the tenets of hard work, success will be their portion.
Waking up at 4 is something I'm not used to, but I got used to it, and the commandants were friendly, the officers were really very nice, and especially our state coordinator, she was more or less like a mother to all of us.
From the orientation camp Esiluku in Anocha North local government area, I am Chooks Ebwago.
The Judiciary Financial Autonomy Bill is past the second reading at the State House of Assembly. The second reading of the bill followed debates on the merits of the bill. Members at today's plenary presided over by the Speaker, Honorable Peter Onsaya. Assembly correspondent Parabutu has details of the report.
Opening debate on the bill, the majority leader of the House, Honorable Mode Buya, said the bill would correct the administrative bottlenecks experienced in the judiciary as a result of non-financial independence. The majority leader argued that the bill clearly shows the openness of the executive, as it would empower the judiciary to have their quarterly financial releases from the Consolidated Revenue Fund. Others who spoke in support of the bill were the Deputy Speaker, Honorable Basili Ganagana, Honorable Steve Owefere, Dennis Omavie, Daniel Mayoko, and Samuel Marere. They said the bill seeks to provide for the Consolidated Revenue Fund of the state to the head of the judiciary in the state, adding that it was in tandem with Section 81 subsection 3 and Section 165 subsection 9 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The lawmakers argued that the failure to grant the judiciary financial autonomy was a breach of the Constitution, stressing that it would also strengthen the judiciary and promote the doctrine of separation of power if the bill was passed by the House. According to them, the bill, when passed, would enable the judiciary to work without fear or favor. Also arguing in favor of the bill, the former Speaker, Honorable Victor Oche, said the executive was only complying with the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He argued that every provision of the Constitution was sacrosanct, adding that the bill does not need further debate as it was a constitutional matter.
We are here for more than 10 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. That is the books that also sword. Now, in that the Constitution is sacrosanct.
After debate on the Judiciary Financial Autonomy Bill, the Speaker, Honorable Peter Owosayan, put the question to a voice vote and it was adopted by the House.
Those who will say aye. Those that will say nay. The aye matters.
The Speaker thereafter committed the bill to the House Committee on Rules, Business, Legal and Judicial Matters for further legislative action. For Delta TV News, I am Pere Botu.
The Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Honorable Peter Osayo, has called on members of the Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, ANAN, to support the state government policy of Delta Beyond Oil. Honorable Osayo stated this when members of the Delta State branch of ANAN paid him a courtesy visit in his office. He said the state government was determined in developing the non-oil sector. The Speaker noted that the support from professional bodies would assist the government achieve its vision for the state. Honorable Osayo highlighted the development achievements of Governor Emmanuel Udoma in all sectors of the state. He promised to assist the association in its activities and commended them for the visit.
And for professional bodies in public service and civil service, I think it's indeed the skill of service for remunerations to professional bodies. What we are talking about, what my concern is how the implementation of the entry point of ANAN will be implemented over time.
The Delta State Chairman of the Association, Comrade Benjamin Waji, said the visit was to congratulate the Speaker on his election as Speaker of the State House of Assembly. He appealed to the Speaker to make rules that would enhance the accounting profession in the state and to support ANAN's call for members to be placed on salary grade 10 at entry point, as was the case with some sister professional bodies as practiced in Lagos, Kogi, and some other states. 26 employees of the Delta State House of Assembly Service Commission have been dismissed for parading fake certificates. The chairman of the commission, Barrister Josephine Kachiku, who disclosed this in a statement, also said that the dismissal was done after a thorough verification and re-verification exercise carried out by a firm of auditors engaged to carry out a certificate verification exercise of the staff of the commission. She said based on infighting by some employees over seniority resulting in protests that some of their colleagues representing fake certificates to be upgraded above their equals, the Commission engaged the services of a firm of external auditors to carry out certificate verification. Barrister Kachiku said the firm has submitted his report and every case was subjected to further re-verification to remove any possible human error, and 26 employees were then dismissed from the services of the Commission for parading fake certificates. 2 on interdiction, while pending cases were about 20. The Delta State House of Assembly Service Commission chairman highlighted the activities of the commission, reiterating that since the inauguration of the commission under a watch as chairman in 2011, it had been carrying out a policy of motivation of employees to ensure an efficient and effective service delivery in the legislature. She said the commission has set a standard whereby every eligible staff for promotion was subjected to a refresher course and subsequent examination before being promoted. Barrister Kachiku said as an incentive package, the Commission pays outfit allowance to all staff annually. The State Governor, Dr. Emmanuel Doan, has been lauded for giving express approval for women transporters to be beneficiaries of the State Urban Mass Transit Scheme. The Women and Transport Cooperation Society, WARI, commended the state governor's efforts in the transport sector when they paid a familiarization visit to the Commissioner for Transport, Honorable Ben Igbapa, in his office in Asaba. The leader of the group, Mrs. Carol Amiaya, said they were in the Commissioner's office for an appeal towards benefiting from the Delta State Mass Transit Scheme, as most of them have lost their husbands and were faced with the burden of fending for their families. Mrs. Amiaya said if some buses were given to them, the burden would be greatly reduced. They said if such buses were given to them, their economic status would change for good, and promised to keep to the rules of the engagement regarding the operations of the buses. Responding, the Transport Commissioner, Honorable Bapa, commended their efforts of going into the driving career, which was ifad an elusive arena for men. The said Governor Doan was a gender-sensitive person who believes in equal rights and was committed to the Delta Beyond Oil policy he initiated. Honorable Ibapa told the women that the governor had already given the express approval last year that women should be beneficiaries of the Urban Mass Transit Scheme, adding that only 2 female drivers actually applied and were given 2 buses for commercial purposes. He assured them of government's readiness to extend the gesture to them and asked them to support the governor in his desire of taking the transport and other sectors of the state economy to enviable heights. As part of steps aimed at further reducing cases of death associated with childbirth, the state governor has inaugurated the Maternal Death Review Steering Committee, MDR. The committee, which was inaugurated by the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Joseph Otumara, during a 2-day training workshop on maternal death review in Asaba, will be chaired by Dr. Tosan Popo, while Dr. Patrick Okonta will serve as secretary. Dr. Tosan said the inauguration of the committee was Dr. Otumara said the inauguration of the committee was necessitated by the determination of government to properly investigate every death resulting from pregnancy and childbirth, which with a view to further reducing maternal mortality in the state. The Health Commissioner said the causes of maternal death were mostly associated with below standard activities by traditional birth attendants, as well as late presentation of serious maternal complication cases, warning that the ministry would not hesitate to sanction the faulters.
To a level, a 2-digit figure, preferably a 50, so that whoever is coming after this administration, we are a tedious task of either maintaining or reducing further.
Responding on behalf of the committee, the chairman, who is a former permanent secretary in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Tosan Popo, thanked the state governor, Dr. Emmanuel Idona, and the Commissioner for Health for the confidence reposed in them. He gave an assurance that they would ensure that maternal death is completely eradicated from the state. Government at all levels and stakeholders have been called upon to partner with public analysts in the provision of potable water for the masses. The call was made in Asaba by Professor David Oluleye of the Federal Ministry of Health in an interview with a Delta TV News reporter, Ejime Udueme. Professor Oluleye said the best way to tackle waterborne diseases was for water to be subjected to laboratory tests. He commended the Delta State government for taking a bold step to construct a water laboratory in the Ministry of Water Resources to subject water in the state to screening.
Of this water problem, but we are not coordinating our activities. It's like every other person is doing what he or she can hand at any point in time. But this process is supposed to be a chain. It's supposed to be a chain, and on our part, what we have tried to do is to ensure that the water produced for drinking, whether table or packaged water, meet the minimum standard.
Professor Oluleye, who is also of the Federal Ministry of Health, said what the country needed to overcome perceived challenges was retained capacity development for professionals and experts in different fields. Up ahead, 3 bombs wreak havoc in Somali area of Nairobi. Details of this and more shortly. Thanks for staying tuned. Straight on to the foreign saying at least 6 people were killed and up to 25 injured after 3 bombs were thrown in the busy parts of the predominantly Somali area of Kenya's capital, Nairobi. The blast targeted roadside food stores and restaurants in the east-lie suburb of the city known as Little Mogadishu for its large immigrant population. No group or individual has claimed responsibility for the attack, but such attacks in the past in the area have been blamed on Somalia's Al-Shabaab armed group. Al-Shabaab has been targeting Kenya after the government sent troops into Somalia to fight alongside government forces there. However, the Fight of Islam argue they were suffering collective punishment for the actions of a few. In another development, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry has met Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu for the second time in less than 12 hours in an effort to salvage stalled negotiations with the Palestinians. The negotiations appeared to be on the brink of collapse at the weekend when Israel failed to press ahead with a promised release of several dozen Palestinian prisoners. Israel wanted assurance the Palestinians would not abandon the talks aimed at ending the decades-old Middle East conflict when an initial deadline for an accord expires on April 29. The focus of Kerry's mission appears to have shifted from reaching an elusive framework agreement by April 29, including general principles for a final peace accord, to simply keeping both sides talking beyond the previously set deadline. Meanwhile, NATO are seeing no sign that Russia is withdrawing troops from the Ukrainian border and would look at all options to boost the alliance's defenses. Ministers from the 28 alliance members are meeting for the first time since Russia's military occupation and annexation of Ukraine's Crimea region triggered the worst East-West crisis since the Cold War. Reports say they will discuss ways to boost NATO's military presence in former communist Central and Eastern Europe to reassure allies rattled by Russia's moves. Away from the foreign scene, back home, Governor Willie Obiano has warned criminals in the state to vacate the state immediately or face dire consequences. Governor Obiano gave the warning after a Security Council meeting at the Government House, Oka. Governor Obiano said the council has resolved to clean up flashpoints in the state, particularly in Onitsha, Baru, Oka, and Nemi. This news that the Security Joint Task Force would soon launch a statewide operation to stamp out armed robbery, kidnapping, and other forms of crime. The governor called on people and residents of the state to provide useful information to security agents to enhance their operations.
You will see a lot of activities. We want to stamp out kidnapping, armed robbery, a taste of the food instability. You will see action on the road, serious action. You can see the NPMA chief here, among other very important people here.
The State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Osman Gwari, assured that they would leave no stone unturned to accomplish the mission. The Performing Musicians Association of Nigeria, PMN, has been called upon to use their music to promote love, unity, and correct ills in the society. The acting general manager, Delta Broadcasting Services Aba, Mr. Godwin Erobaga, made the call today when the Delta State chapter of the PMN paid a courtesy visit on the management of the station. Delta TV News reporter Ed Janelle Dwame has details of the report.
Mr. Erobaga said music remains an oil that keeps life going, hence the need for members of the association to revert to the good old days when people enjoyed inspirational music by artists. He challenged the leadership of PMAN to call its members to order, following the kind of music being played in the 21st century, emphasizing that entertainment through music would make or mar the society. The acting GM lauded the association for its positive impact on lives and the world in general, and pledged the readiness of the station in publicizing their activities and works.
PMA has actually done so much for this country to encourage you. We try and bring it back. Try to put meaning into your music. But these days, when they sing, not people understand what they are saying. So I want this body to step into that area.
Governor of PIMA, Delta State, Comrade Quincy Tebite, said the visit was to introduce the new executive to the management of DBS as well as seek ways of partnership in promoting its programs and works. He said the primary goal of PIMAN was to promote individual competence, unity, self-dignity, and peace and growth of the society through its works. Comrade Tebite said the association was ready to partner with the state government in bringing the needed change to the society. Other members of the association said substandard music was not done by its members, saying that they were the handiwork of charlatans. They advocated the strengthening of the census board to ensure that obscene and substandard music do not see the light of day. For Delta TV News, I am Ejime Udwema.
The State Police Command has arrested 3 criminal suspects in connection with the robbery of one Betsy Johnson at Isiokolo in Ethiopia's local government area. The police public relations officer, DSP Celestina Kalu, in a statement said the hoodlums were arrested by the police detectives following a tip-off. Items recovered from them were a locally made pistol, 1 English double-barrel gun, 1 battle axe, and 3 live cartridges. Meanwhile, the Special Anti-Kidnapping Squad conveying 2 suspects to the Magistrate Court only for arraignment in connection with criminal activities ran into an ambush led by unknown gunmen and engaged the squad in gun duel, while 2 male suspects were hit by bullets from the hoodlums. The 2 suspects were rushed to the hospital for treatment but later gave up the ghost. Efforts are on to track down the fleeing hoodlums who attack the operatives. Reports just reaching us from Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, say 4 suspected suicide bombers were today shot dead in the town. The Director of Defense Information, Major General Chris Olu Kulade, announced this while briefing newsmen on how security operatives were working to check the activities of miscreants in Borno and other states in the area. Meanwhile, the Katsina State Committee on Attacks in Fatskari and Sabura local government areas has called for the establishment of military barracks in Wugu Forest. The committee says this would help in checking the activities of Boko Haram sects in both local government areas. In line with tonight's UEFA Champions League encounter, Bayern Munich manager Pep Guardiola says he might have been offered the Manchester United job but missed out due to its poor English. The Bayern tactician was speaking at the press conference at the Old Trafford. Guardiola had met legendary United manager Sir Alex Ferguson in New York while on a 12-month sabbatical after leaving Barcelona at the end of the 2011-2012 season. Speaking on his expectations for tonight's game against United, the coach said it will be suicidal to underestimate their contenders. Guardiola's Bayern Munich plays against Manchester United tonight in the struggle for a back-to-back UEFA Champions League trophy. The entire board of Uruguay's Football Association has resigned amidst crisis over violence at matches. The report says the board's decision was aimed at allowing political views to govern its football. In an open letter to Uruguay's soccer fans, the board explained that it has worked with the sole objective to benefit its country's football and has decided to resign in its best interest. Analysts have, however, suggested that the crisis will force Uruguay to withdraw from the Summer World Cup in Brazil. Now, that's the size of our bulletin tonight. Just before saying goodnight, here is our thoughts for the day. Fear has two meanings. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. The choice is yours. Right here in the news, the highlights. The state governor, Dr. Emmanuel Edouin, has charged the Batch A core members deployed to the state, to the district, an objective and the analysis of national events, enable them play the mediating and stabilizing roles of bringing about peace and development to the country. The Judicial Financial Autonomy Bill has passed the second reading at the State House Assembly. The second reading of the bill followed debates on the merits of the bill by members at today's plenary presided over by the Speaker, Honorable Peter Onsaya. That's our package for tonight. This is Joe Wilson. Good night. God bless you.
And others in need of emergency to the nearest hospital for proper medical attention. Wow, this is wonderful.
Delta State, finishing strong.
so hard. Be my umbrella, my umbrella. When the sun is down, I wanna be wrapped in your arms over you. Only eyes on shore, so sorry of you. My number one, my only one, baby. My hero, my hero, my hero. When our hope is lost and it seems the night is ready to cut, will you be there to protect me? Will you be there to be my shield? Will you be there for me? There for me? Will you be there for me? Sunshine, only one, only one, so sorry, my number one, my only one, baby. My hero, my hero.
When the rain is falling, I'll be there. When the sun shines, I'll be there. Shelter you and cover, then I'll be your sugar. I'm not trying to bother you, girl.